live on Sunlink Channel 112, live from Studio 318 here at Oklahoma State. I am Reed Spencer, joined by my co-host Logan Moser. As always, a ton going on in the National Football League. People are making moves, making money. People are getting banned from stadiums in the NBA. James Dolan's still a jerk. I mean, he's still going on his little tirade. Suspensions, college basketball, and some Oklahoma State athletics planned for you. But we will start in the National Football League. Let's just start with the most recent deal. Le'Veon Bell is obviously leaving Pittsburgh. That's been known for a long time. Sit out last year. Signs a deal with the New York Jets for 4 years, $52.5 million. Jets fans are excited. And
Jason Colicchio was super excited when he came in today. Big Jets fan.
I would love to know why, because he's not even the best running back in New York.
Ooh.
I don't think that's a hot take. Saquon Barkley's a far more talented running back. You get a guy who laughably couldn't take $14 million, killed his own market, and signs with the Jets. Sam Darnold, what offensive line is he going to run behind? I mean, Osimile from the Raiders, great. I get the excitement for the New York Jets. I get it. Jason should be excited. They got a phenomenal football player. But I'm just telling you.
I don't think he's going to help them. I don't think he's going to change their culture overnight. I don't think
I wouldn't want him to change my culture. The guy set out a year of football.
Yeah, and he's had some other off-the-field issues. Has failed a couple drug tests. But that's consistent with the Jets. Robbie Anderson also failed a couple of drug tests. Yeah, I mean, good for Le'Veon. I don't think it worked. I don't think sitting out the year worked for him. He did not get the money he thought he was going to get. He thought he was going to. What did he want? At least he didn't want $80 million. That was Kirk Cousins. I can't remember what he wanted, but he wanted a ton of guaranteed money to set a precedent for running backs in the future. And I think everyone kind of knew that wasn't going to happen. The only guy that I can think of that really has gotten paid as a running back is Todd Gurley. How'd that work for them in the Super Bowl, Reed?
Well, the last really
he was a non-factor
of the season.
Yeah,
and James Conner stepped up in Pittsburgh and played well. That also killed his value. CBS, guess what grade they gave the Le'Veon Bell signing?
C+.
C+.
Nice.
Barely passing. I mean, listen, I'm not here to just pour water all over the Jets. They should be excited, but Adam Gase had minimal success in Miami. I think the situations are comparable. He's got a much better quarterback to Sam Darnold, but Sam Darnold, I mean, he can't really reach his full potential because he plays behind nothing.
Right.
Le'Veon Bell's now practically their only offensive weapon. Le'Veon Bell is going to learn really quickly why he should have signed that deal with the Steelers and why he should have stayed in Pittsburgh. I don't think this pans out well, and this is why you don't pay running backs big-time money.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what they do in the draft. I'll be interested to see if they go for someone like DK Metcalf to get another weapon, or if they go kind of like the Colts did last year and they build up a line to protect their quarterback. I would hope they go for an offensive line because I think that benefits Bell and Darnold more than anything, more than getting a receiver. But it'll be very interesting. I agree with you. This is not the Pittsburgh offensive line. They have a great offensive line in Pittsburgh. The Jets they don't. I know they got that guy from Oakland, but they just don't have a great offensive line right now. So I'll be interested to see what this team looks like in 2 years, but I wouldn't expect anything big.
Well, they also signed linebacker C.J. Mosley from Baltimore at a 5-year, $85 million deal. Obviously, they get Le'Veon Bell, as we talked about. And, you know, the Jets, I mean, you've got to be happy if you're a Jets fan because of the position they were in. They get a defensive end, Henry Anderson as well, 3 years, $25 million. Well, they didn't get him. He was already there. But Jamison Crowder, the wide receiver, 3 years, $28.5 million. At least you're making moves. At least they're making moves, and that is something that you've got to be excited about if you're a Jets fan.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, Sam Darnold's not going to come out and throw an interception on the pick six. I mean,
hey, they won that game.
They did win that game.
He turned that around real quick.
I mean, he's not – he's in a better situation with Adam Gase because he is more of an offensive mind as compared to Todd Bowles, who was barely a defensive mind when he left. But, I mean, it's in a much better position. It's getting up, but just pump the brakes and be prepared for reality because it may take a couple years to really pan out offensively. in New York.
Yeah, I think they'll be good, in good shape. If they continue in this direction, they'll be good in about 2 or 3 years. I think they're gonna be. I hope they're gonna be a good team soon because Jason deserves it. You know, he has the Yankees, but otherwise the Knicks.
Well, I mean, not since
Jets.
2009, the Yankees really haven't been.
They're on their way back.
Not by
though.
Yankee standards.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, they had a really good team last year. I think they just ran into the Red Sox and.
Don't tell him that. Don't remind him. But anyway, we'll get to James Dolan and the New York Knicks later. But Le'Veon Bell, going back to the green and white, it was Michigan State Day. He is now a New York Jet. Landon Collins signs with the Washington Redskins, 6 years, $84 million. I don't know if he's resetting the market to strong safety. As you're seeing we'll just run through these really quick and then try and break down as many as we can. Tyrann Mathieu signs with the Kansas City Chiefs. Landon Collins with the Redskins. Antonio Brown gets traded to the Oakland Raiders. Nick Foles is now a Jacksonville Jaguar. Devin Funchess is an Indianapolis Colt on a 1-year, $13 million deal. And Thomas Davis, the former Panther, is now a Los Angeles Charger. So a lot happening. Trent Brown goes to the Raiders. LaMarcus Joyner to the Raiders. I mean, there is everyone signed. There's still some big free agents out there, which I want to get to Friday because we only have an hour and there's a lot in the sports world. So Landon Collins, the strong safety of the Redskins, 6 years, $84 million. David Gettleman, I don't know if he's clueless or not, but we'll get into what else he did. But he lets Landon Collins walk, signs in division, 6 years, $84 million. Listen, the Dan Snyder special is overpaying for guys and them not panning out. I like this signing because he's 25 years old and he's shown an ability to play all over the field. I like the signing for the Redskins.
I like the fit. Barrett and I were talking about it, I believe yesterday. They needed a safety, and they got a great one in Landon Collins. Like you said, only 25 years old, but the money, that's a lot of money for one guy. I don't know if he makes that much of an impact because that was a lot of their cap space they put in on Landon Collins. So I think he's a good player, a great player, and he's really young. I just don't know if I'd pay him all that money.
The two leaders of the team, Landon Collins and Case Keenum. I like.
They don't pay a lot of Case Keenum's salary. Somehow we're still paying.
$1 is $1 too much, my friend. Washington Redskins, so they get their strong safety in Landon Collins. Trey Flowers is out of New England, goes to join his former defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, on a 5-year, $90 million deal in Detroit. I really like that fit for the Detroit Lions. I don't think Detroit Lions are going to transcend themselves into a playoff team, but I like the addition of Trey Flowers.
I do too, but I don't know. I think Matt Patricia just wanted a friend on the team. I don't think anyone else liked him, so he went and got all these old Patriot guys. And Trey Flowers can play. He's great. They needed an edge rusher. He's good. I don't know. If Belichick isn't willing to pay a guy, and he's not really willing to pay anybody.
He doesn't have to.
Yeah. If he's willing to let a guy go, I give it some pause of whether he'll have success elsewhere. Because a lot of these guys look really, really good in Belichick's system, and then they go elsewhere. And I know he's still with his old defensive coordinator, but I don't know. I'll be interested to see if he has the same level of impact.
He's only 25.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got some time. As we mentioned, C.J. Mosley does sign with the Jets, makes more per year now than Le'Veon Bell. Imagine that. Trent Brown joins the Raiders on a 4-year, $66 million deal, which is absolutely laughable because a guy that the Patriots gave up a third-round pick for, they got them to the Super Bowl, but he was rated 68 out of 80. Offensive tackle or offensive lineman in Pro Football Focus, gave up 12 quarterback hits. Now they made him the highest per year offensive lineman in the league. It's another rare special. But they go get Antonio Brown, but we've already talked about that. Tyrann Mathieu to the Kansas City Chiefs. 3 years, $42 million.
I want to hear your thoughts on this contract.
Well, they've got $120 million wrapped up in two safeties, one that can play and one can't. Eric Berry elected not to have surgery. I love the Tyrann Mathieu signing because he's one of, kind of like Landon Collins, probably more so actually, can play up at
everywhere.
the line. He can play deep. He can play in the box. He can do absolutely everything. He's had some torn ACLs. He's had those injuries, but he's built up his character immensely since he left LSU. Played on that 1-year deal, and Houston bet on himself and got a 3-year, $42 million deal. I love the signing.
Yeah. What do you want the team to do with Eric Berry?
Well, I would ideally
like you said,
like
you can't play him
to get that cash back and get rid of him. But if you cut him, you save $1 million against the cap, so you might as well bet on him or trade him. There's some rumors that they may be trading him to his former GM John Dorsey in Cleveland.
What do you want? And what's his value? What can you get back?
His value is absolutely zero. He can't play.
Yeah.
I mean, when you played 4 out of the last 29 games, including the playoffs, what is your value? And you're one of the highest paid safeties in the league. I mean, and well, my spirit to play the game's not there. Well, my friend, you're making almost $14 million a year. Find the spirit at the bank and let's play some football. If you can't play, you can't play. But I don't know. But I like the Tyrann Mathieu signing. The huge news that no one saw coming yesterday was Odell Beckham Jr. Getting traded to the Cleveland Browns for their first-round pick, which is the 17th pick in this year's draft, and their second, third-round pick, and safety Jabril Peppers. John Dorsey, I know all about him in Kansas City. He can flip a roster like nobody's business. Kareem Hunt's on the team. No telling when he's going to play. But you have Nick Chubb, Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr., David Njoku. You've got a really star-studded cast now. You think, I think the Browns are going to be really good. I don't know if I'll push that Super Bowl narrative, but they're going to be really good.
They're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, they're now the best in the AFC North.
Absolutely. You know who I feel the worst for, or
David Gettleman, because he apparently has no clue what he's doing.
It's Joe Thomas.
Yeah.
One of the best left tackles, Hall of Famer. Stuck with the Browns for his whole career. They were awful.
They get good as soon as he leaves.
He's been gone for like 5 minutes, and they're great now.
Yeah, that's got to be a tough break.
Yeah,
for him.
If I were him, I'd come back. I'd be like, guys, you owe me this. You owe me this. Bring me back.
I think he could still play, but they have a star-studded cast.
They do.
We can break down everything, but we'll stick with the players for right now.
Yeah.
Nick Foles to the Jags on 4 years, $88 million. A couple years ago, he was out fishing. He was going to quit football. Andy Reid talked him into coming and being a backup player for the Kansas City Chiefs. He goes to the Eagles, helps win them a Super Bowl, plays a little bit this year. Now he cashes in with the Jacksonville Jaguars. You like the deal or not?
I like it more than the Blake Bortles deal.
Well, yeah. I would rather sign you than Blake Bortles.
Yeah, I mean, I like it for Nick Foles. He got paid. I think he can have success in Jacksonville, but they have to play like they did in Philadelphia. They have to do what he's good at and nothing else. Like there's a roadmap for success with Nick Foles. We've seen it. They won a Super Bowl with him, but I don't know if the personnel in Jacksonville is going to be smart enough or capable enough to do that.
Let him play in November.
Yeah.
To the Super Bowl. Outside of that, Nick Foles is not going to win you a ton of games. He had that one phenomenal season in Philadelphia before, obviously, the Super Bowl run with Chip Kelly was incredible. But he's a bit of a journeyman now.
Yeah.
I'm with you. What is there in Jacksonville that he's gonna be able to lead? I mean, they have a shoddy locker room character-wise at best.
Yeah.
They've kind of wasted away this great defense.
Who's his best offensive player outside of Leonard Fournette?
And Leonard Fournette, I mean,
yeah, he has some issues.
Yeah, there's no guarantees there. I mean, I don't know. D.D. Westbrook, but I mean, he's not like a top-end player that's going to protect him.
Right.
I mean, Blake Bortles, don't get me wrong, is not a great football player, but I think you might start to see a little bit of why Blake Bortles was Blake Bortles.
Does he land somewhere else after he's cut?
Yeah, he'll get a job. He's not going to get a starting job. He's definitely not going to get a contract like the Jaguars gave him. So all in all, and this can include the trade or a signing. Which is your favorite, and which do you think will end up being the worst?
I think my favorite is the Odell Beckham trade. That makes the Browns so much better. Like you said, they're the best team in that division now. The worst for me, that's kind of tough. Probably the Nick Foles deal, just based on how much money and what the rest of the team looks like in Jacksonville. I think Nick Foles is a fine player and all, but I don't think he's worth that much. I think they're going to be regretting that deal almost as much as they regret the Blake Bortles deal in a couple of years.
My worst deal, I think, would be Trent Brown to the Raiders, because I mentioned the Raiders. And I was talking about this with Jordan King yesterday. Sometimes you can put a lot of stock in those Pro Football Focus ratings, and sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
When you're on a really good team and it elevates your status, then you're going to think, well, that's a little inflated. That's not true. But when you're bad and on a Super Bowl winning team with Tom Brady as your quarterback, then you kind of have to look at it and go, oh, maybe. They made him the highest paid offensive lineman per year, and he's 68 out of 80. That's going to end up being a bad deal. my favorite probably deal is the fact that they got Antonio Brown, character or not, for a 3 and a 5.
That's true. I wanted to ask you about that. What do you think the Steelers are looking at and Antonio Brown is looking at? Like, I wasn't worth a first, or like the Steelers are like, how could we not get a first for this guy when the Giants got a first for a really good receiver, but not on the level of Antonio Brown?
Well, either that or David Gettleman is absolutely clueless, which I think is a real possibility. Let Josh Norman walk, let Landon Collins walk. Now he trades Odell Beckham Jr. So obviously there's still some free agents out there. Earl Thomas is still out there.
He's rumored to go to Cleveland.
And Ndamukong Suh. I don't know how Cleveland's paying all these guys. Ronald Darby, Golden Tate.
Maybe they're getting some money from the college or something. Maybe someone's parents are paying for their.
Oh yeah,
their
congratulations by the way. For your parents paying for you to get into Oklahoma State. What, $300,000?
A one-time payment of $300,000 and then a yearly donation of $5,000 till I'm 50.
That story is absolutely insane to me.
It is.
Sheldon Richardson joins the Browns as well. Mitch Morse to Buffalo. We're going to take a quick break. We'll break down hopefully some more signing and all the stuff going on in the NFL on Friday. But we're going to take a quick break, come back, and talk about what happened in Utah on Tuesday night. We'll be right back after this.
One-on-One is brought to you by Tinker Federal Credit Union. Visit facebook.com/TinkerFCU. While you're there for your family, we're there for you. Tinker Federal Credit Union. And OSU Communications. Not sure where to park? OSU Communications has got you covered with parking tips and bus schedule information. We'll be right back.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
Welcome back into One-on-One. You're seeing Russell Westbrook highlights there. We're going to get into the controversy in here, but by the way, Earl Thomas, you just said he might be a Cleveland Brown.
I did, Reed.
He's a Baltimore Raven. Try to pull up the deal here from Adam Schefter. Former Seahawks safety Earl Thomas intends to sign a 4-year, $55 million deal that includes $32 million guaranteed. That's a lot for a guy coming off a broken leg. Deal is $22 million in first 9 months. Well, yep, right around Christmas, he's going to be able to buy a lot of nice presents with that money. But he is officially going to be a Baltimore Raven. That's big news. We'll still figure out what's going to happen if Eric Berry goes to Cleveland or not. But Earl Thomas, the former Seahawks Super Bowl champion, Texas Longhorn for that matter, is going to the Baltimore Ravens to replace Eric Weddle. So let's get into this NBA stuff. If NFL news breaks, we'll jump back to that. But we can get into more of that Friday.
Yeah.
All right. You know I'm not a Russell Westbrook defender at all. I have a hard time defending Russell Westbrook. I think he's overbearing and not that nice at times. But you see how he deals with the kids in the stadium. I think it's just his personality. People are criticizing Russell Westbrook for how he responded to a fan. I have absolutely no problem with what Russell Westbrook did. I will not have a problem with it because what is rumored to be said, and plenty of people backed it up, if somebody, berated him, put him down as a person, and said something racist, which is well noted in Utah, it's been ridiculous. He got into an altercation with a fan last year.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a problem with what Russell Westbrook did, I would like to see what you did when somebody attacks your race, your character, and who you are as a person over a basketball game. That's absolutely ridiculous. You should not have a problem with it. You should have every problem with the fan who did it. Westbrook fined $25,000. The Jazz fans banned for life. What's your take on this?
I think it played out exactly how it should have. I think you have to give Russell the fine just because you can't.
I mean, you can't do that.
You can't do that, but he can't do that either, and I'm glad that's why he got the lifetime ban. Because, like you said, the stuff he was reported to have said, and the Jazz independent investigation had information that backed up that he had said exactly what Russell Westbrook said he said, instead of what he had said. He did an interview on TV after the game. Yeah, he's a liar. He went on TV and told a very different version of the story. So, and like you said, Russell Westbrook has had problems in Utah before. You saw Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert speak out about how this is not okay. This is not the Utah that I know and love. This is not how our fan base is supposed to behave. So it's good that people on the other side, on the other team at least, are also supporting Russell Westbrook, and they say, we seem to have a problem in our arena and we need to change that.
Well, if there's 15,000 people there, Logan, there might be 100 jerks in there, and that's what's going to stand out.
Right.
There's probably stuff said all over the arena that you can't hear, but he was close to Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook can't retaliate. He can't say stuff. I don't have a problem with it because I know for a fact if that was said to me, I would have a problem with it and I would say something. But he is held to a different standard.
Yeah.
There is cameras. There's phones. He got recorded. It was easy money for that person that recorded it.
Right.
But he's got to find a way. And I don't know how it is because, like I said, I'm telling him to do something that I wouldn't be capable of doing. But he has got to not do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the NBA needs to do more to protect the players, and it's kind of been more of a conversation now. If you and I go to a game and we're close, we can say just about whatever we want to a player. We can talk trash as much as we want so we feel like we're involved with the game somehow, but you can't stop them from speaking to people, but you need to be you need to enforce the rules more. Did you see most of the fans in that section were given warning cards?
Yes, I
did
see that.
You need to do that more. You need to be handing those out more and more, and you need to be keeping track of repeat offenders so you can protect these guys, because they're just like you and me. They are held to a different standard because they're NBA players.
But they're human.
They're people. They have feelings, emotions. You can't talk to a person like that. If they saw Russell Westbrook on the street, that guy would have never said anything to him. Unless it was something nice. He probably would have said something nice to him, like, oh, I love you, Russ, keep doing what you're doing. It's totally different when you're in the arena. You feel like since you bought a ticket, you have the right to berate any guy on the floor, and that's just not how it is.
No, it doesn't work
It's like that in college, too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about it because Russell Westbrook can't do that. But at the same time, what else is he supposed to do? We can't just sit there and take. Like you said, he's human. But Adam Silver's got to figure something out. Yeah. You can't take the fans out of it. I mean, you can't play in an empty arena. You can't do that. But something has to be done. And I don't expect you to necessarily have an answer to this, but if you do, it'll be great. What can Adam Silver do to protect these players? Because the warning cards work to an extent.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop this guy.
No. I think you have to train all the event staff. You have to somehow get some kind of training program going where you give them the warning card if it's out of line. And maybe you have to hold the player accountable, too, to pull, if they're on the bench, to get an event staff's attention and tell them, that guy's saying something that's not acceptable. And you gotta be more willing to kick guys out, I think. And we're going to talk about why you shouldn't kick some people out here in a second. But I think if you're berating an athlete to that extent where it's a racial attack, and you can look on that guy's Twitter, and he seems to have a personal vendetta against Russell Westbrook.
How can somebody care about something that much?
I know.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know why people feel entitled to go at athletes like this when they're just trying to play the game. But I think you have to have some kind of new program where you get the warning card, and then you're out, and you're out for life, because you can't be having this kind of stuff. This is how the Malice in the Palace happened. You know, tensions were high. If someone had thrown a beer on Russell Westbrook like they did to Ron Artest in Detroit,
yeah, I mean,
he might go up there.
Something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, the Thunder have to do a better job of putting somebody at the end of the bench and controlling him. I mean, they've got to get something.
And maybe that's what it is. Maybe every team has a guy that sits on the end of the bench and, you know, is listening to what people are saying to the players, and they point people out. That way it's not on the players. But
yeah, I mean, listen, you can't take – sometimes sporting events get out of hand. That's why when you bring a small kid and there's cussing around, you can't get mad about it. I mean, you just can't. I would have no problem if Russell Westbrook walked to the end of the bench. He goes, hey, Russell, you suck. You suck.
Yeah.
You can't shoot. You're bad. That's fine. Talk trash. But you can't cross the line of somebody's race.
Yeah.
You can't take personal shots at guys like that. It just doesn't work that way because you have a responsibility to be a decent human being. And when you buy a ticket, that's essentially signing the contract. There is terms and agreements in those tickets that you can't act that way. So the NBA's got to get something figured out. But luckily enough, Utah. The credit to Utah. Swift and affirmative in the way they acted, and you've got to be glad if you're Westbrook and do that. But it's just now that guys are seeing stuff like this happen, it's almost going to get worse, I would think.
And I will say, Russell Westbrook probably gets most, or not the most, but more than most players as far as trash talk and scrutiny and all that. And I feel like he doesn't respond unless it's not about basketball. I feel like you can sit there and yell about how he can't shoot or whatever, and he'll just stay focused on the game. But whenever you cross that line, like you mentioned, that's when he gets involved. I feel like you just have to keep it within the realms of basketball.
Right, and you know me, I don't like defending Russell Westbrook, but when it's common sense, I have no problem with it. I mean, I have no problem defending Russell Westbrook, but hopefully it doesn't get any worse, and luckily it stopped where it did.
Yeah.
But another fan getting banned, the one from Madison Square Garden, because the worst owner in professional sports, James Dolan, he now says he went on 98.7 ESPN in New York City and said it was an ambush, that these guys planned it, that you can't stalk the owner. This is the direct quote. The ban is only coming from the fact that we now have learned that he planned it. They were stalking me. You can't do that in Madison Square Garden. You are not allowed to stalk the owner and then confront him like that. Well, James, stalking is a crime, but let's ease it on where you stand there. Those particular guys had planned on making that video and selling it on TMZ. I think it just went to Twitter. Just think that's how it happened.
Yeah.
It's so bad because he doesn't understand that he just acknowledged that he is so thin-skinned, so immature, and so petty that guys can plan out just saying sell the team and he'll be triggered. That's how low James Dolan is. It's that easy.
Yeah.
He admitted it and didn't even know it.
Yeah, and we just talked about how we have to protect the fans.
Yeah.
You probably have to protect the owners too, but he didn't cross a line.
Well, it's not like he said,
it's not like he attacked him as a person.
Sell the team, bleep, bleep, bleep. He just said sell the team.
Yeah, this is exactly what we're talking about, where you just have to keep going. You just have to walk on if a guy says that to you. Who cares if some guy tells you to sell the team? And you should. You're awful. Awful. I think they've won one playoff series since he took over 20 years ago or something like that. He is awful. Probably the worst owner in professional sports as far as running a team. I can't think of many teams that have had less success. Maybe Donald Sterling's Clippers. And I don't know. He's terrible. He should sell the team. The guy's not wrong. It's an opinion, but the guy's not wrong.
Well, I want to read you these two quotes, and this is a shout-out to all Knicks fans, especially the one in the audio booth. This is James Dolan. I can tell you from what I've heard, I think we're going to have a very successful offseason when it comes to free agents. Okay.
They have a long history of that, Reed. Can't you remember whenever they signed all of those great free agents?
Great track record to go off of. This is the greatest quote of all time. For the record, I am not selling the team, and I am not quitting.
That sucks.
Okay, well, you're a billionaire, so you could literally do anything else and be good at it. But this, you are not good at, my friend.
He's not good at jazz either.
No, he's not. He's not good at handling insults.
That
wasn't even an insult. That's not even an insult.
No.
He's got to grow up. But Serge Ibaka suspended 3 games for a punch.
Yeah.
Luckily, that obviously didn't escalate. If he would have connected, that would have been much worse. We're going to take a quick break, come back and talk about everything going on in college basketball and what the Cowboys can do to pull off an upset over TCU this evening. We're right back after this.
One-on-One is brought to you by Oklahoma Christian University. Get your master's degree in accounting, business administration, theology, engineering, computer science, or cybersecurity from Oklahoma Christian University. Apply at oc.edu/grad. Oklahoma University is committed to offering the best graduate school experience we possibly can. Come learn and grow with us. And The Table. Stop by The Table on Thursdays at 8 p.m. to join their Bible study. Shoot Rachel an email at rachel@thetableosu.com for more information. We'll be right back.
In my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
Welcome back into One-on-One on Suddenly Channel 112, live from Studio 318. More NFL news here really quickly. Former Saints running back Mark Ingram intends to sign a 3-year, $15 million deal with the Baltimore Ravens. So they are busy in Maryland this morning.
Is every team getting better except the Bengals? What are the Bengals even
Cowboys.
doing? I meant in that division.
Oh.
I guess the Steelers aren't getting better either.
Yeah, I mean, probably the Browns. I guess the Ravens are getting a little bit better, but the Steelers haven't made many moves. I think you could say they're getting worse. But
yeah.
There's a lot of teams in the NFL that are just kind of stagnant, but also a lot going on. So LeGerald Vick, the former Jayhawk, he took a leave of absence now over a month ago. He is not returning to KU. Their tournament chances, really, in my mind, Logan, were not real great to begin with.
Right.
They are more diminished now. What does this mean for the Kansas Jayhawks?
I think it means they'll have a nice little run in the Big 12 tournament. I think they'll win their first. I think they can win their first 1 or 2 games, but I don't think they're going to win the tournament. I think if they run into Texas Tech, K-State, even Iowa State, I don't know if they'll win. Baylor, they're not great. They're not a great team. They'll obviously make the big March Madness tournament. As a 4 seed, as a 5 seed?
Yeah, it's not going to be great.
I don't think they're going to be that good in the tournament either. I think they could make it to the... I don't even know, Reed. It's so hard. This team is not good. This Kansas team is not good. They lost their, 3-4 best players. It's just not a good year. They snapped the Big 12 title streak. I don't see them making a big run in the tournament, especially without Vic. Like they're just not gonna have the bodies.
I'm with you. I think it's over for KU. I don't think they'll lose in the round of 64,
No.
but I don't even know that they'll get to the Sweet 16. I really don't.
I don't think they're gonna make it to the Sweet 16.
I just think this is kind of.
It's kind of sad. It's kind of a lost year.
I think it's run its course for
Yeah.
For the Kansas Jayhawks. At least this year, they're going to be
Yeah.
back. So we'll jump to the ACC. Zion wins the ACC Top Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year. I think well deserved. Obviously missed
yeah.
the last 4 games, but I think Zion was by far the best in the ACC conference.
I agree. I mean, I think R.J. Barrett almost won Player of the Year or Rookie of the Year, one of the two. But I can't fault them for picking Zion. He didn't miss a lot of games. He only missed the last 4 games. And he was awesome. All year long, he was awesome. So, no problem there.
I don't have a problem with it either. Hopefully he'll, get back into the swing of things here in the ACC.
I bet he
tournament.
will. I feel like he's been healthy for a while, but they've been holding him out just to have him at full strength for this tournament. You know what I mean? I don't think they went in North Carolina to see how they could play him.
Do you think that they've kind of lost themselves as a 1 seed? I don't think Duke's a 1 seed anymore, at least not in my mind.
I'll have to see how they perform in the tournament. But Gonzaga lost last night to St. Mary's.
They did, and that puts somebody back out on the bubble because that's an automatic seed.
Yeah.
And obviously Gonzaga's not going to fall out of the tournament, so
yeah,
that's unfortunate for the OUs of the world that might get pushed out. I still think the Sooners probably sneak in, but yeah, that was a big win for St. Mary's last night.
Absolutely. A team, I think Gonzaga had previously beat them by 30 or something crazy earlier in the year. They just destroyed St. Mary's, and they just reversed it in the game last night, it was last night. But it was wild. Like you said, it hurts those teams on the bubble like the OUs. I can't remember who Barrett, you should talk to Barrett about his list. He has his whole seating already done, his own version.
Fully disclosure here, Barrett was in on Wofford.
He was.
Months ago.
He was. Barrett knows.
They're a good basketball team. Barrett knows what he's talking about.
Yes.
At least when it comes to college basketball.
Yeah.
But Barrett, you were in on Wofford, so congrats, my friend. They might win a national championship. You just never know. But Wofford honestly could make it. Now, when I say a run, maybe the Sweet 16, probably max. But he was in on Wofford a long time ago. We all called him crazy, and look where Wofford's at.
Exactly. Gonzaga beat St. Mary's 94-46 earlier in the season.
Say that again?
Gonzaga beat St. Mary's 94-46 earlier in the season.
94
46 to 46. So yeah, bit of a
now St. Mary's is in the big dance, baby.
Exactly.
Wow, and they didn't they didn't beat Gonzaga at the buzzer. I mean, they beat them handily. Was it 60-47?
Yep.
13-point win for St. Mary's. So as I said, unfortunate for those bubble teams. But tonight at 6 p.m., the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Maybe their last game of the season, Logan, but they are tipping off against number 8 seed TCU. Obviously, the Cowboys are number 9. It's on ESPNU. Make sure you tune in to watch the Cowboys. But they're split series with Texas,
with
TCU,
Texas Christian.
Yeah. And obviously 1-1. They lost at the buzzer down in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they got a 68-61 win here in Stillwater. So they've been competitive and beat TCU once. Had a real good shot in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And that was really when they lost to others, when they were just coming off the depletion of their roster.
Right.
Do you think they're 12-19? Texas or TCU is 19-12. They're exact opposite of the Cowboys. They're a 4-point favorite. The Horned Frogs are. What can Oklahoma State do to advance in the Big 12 tournament?
I think it's kind of the recipe they've had for these past 2 games. They're on a little streak, a little 2-game run. I think Yornay has to continue to be awesome on defense, which I think he will be. Stay out of foul trouble. He was in a little bit of foul trouble in that game right there against West Virginia. But I think if you get Lindy going, if you can get Dzagwa going, and I think Cameron Griff's close to 100%. He looked really good in that regular season finale on Saturday. So if he can make an impact on the boards and maybe make a couple threes, I think they have a really good shot. Like you said, they've split the series, but played them really close in TCU, and It's at a neutral site, so I'd give the Cowboys a pretty good chance. I like OSU to maybe pull off an upset.
So you're calling your shot. You're calling a win for the Oklahoma State Cowboys tonight.
I am.
It's going to be tough, but if they can shoot the way they did against West Virginia, if they can shoot that way they did down in Lubbock against Kansas, I mean, they are a really good shooting team. So if they can stay hot, I think they can. I think, they're 2-2 in their last 4 games, but you've got a ton of confidence with the way you played against Texas Tech, Kansas, and then get 2 wins, especially over a Baylor team you hadn't beaten, felt like a decade in 7 tries.
Yeah.
I like Oklahoma State tonight. I think it will be close, but they've got confidence. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go win the Big 12 tournament because they're going to have to play K-State if they win tonight. But I'm with you. I like the confidence of this team. I like the way they're playing. I think it'll be a 5 or 6 point win for the Cowboys.
I think Curtis Jones is going to be really important if they want to win as well. Him off the bench, he provides a really good spark. He's good scoring off the bench, or at least he has been the past 2 games.
Yeah, I mean he dropped 20 points a couple times off the bench. Really, Cam McGriff's been playing better. I mean they've been banged up. Their shooting's been lights out.
Yeah,
they shot 50% from the floor against West Virginia.
Yeah.
When a team shoots like that, there's really not much you can do. So here's what I want to do with you. We're going to fill out the Big 12 bracket here.
Okay.
All right, so TCU, Oklahoma State tonight. You said Oklahoma State. All right, the game after that, game 2, is that school down south. Number 7, OU takes on number 10, West Virginia.
OU.
So that moves us to the top of the bracket. Number 4, Baylor. This all take places tomorrow.
Okay.
By the way, we have midday college basketball with
I
these
love
tournaments.
That is the best.
There's nothing better than turning on a quality college basketball game at noon.
Absolutely.
It's nothing better. So number 4 Baylor in game 3 takes on number 5 seed Iowa State.
Oof. I'm going to take Iowa State.
Iowa State had some bad losses down the stretch, but being in Kansas City, they travel really well to the Sprint Center. I'm taking Iowa State as well. So now you chose the Oklahoma State Cowboys, so that would put Kansas State against the Cowboys tomorrow, or Thursday rather, which I guess is tomorrow, at 1:30. So number 1 versus number 9 in your eyes, who wins that game? Kansas State. All right, now we have number 2 seed Texas Tech against number 7 OU, since they beat West Virginia, at least in your mind. So we have the Red Raiders versus the Sooners.
Give me the Texas Tech Red Raiders. They have been on a roll. I think they ended the season on a 9-game winning streak.
Yeah, they are certainly impressive. Now the number 7 team in the country.
Yeah.
Number 3 Kansas versus number 6 Texas.
Texas has really disappointed me this season. I'm going to take Kansas. I know we just talked about how they're depleted, and but I think they can handle Texas. Shaka Smart he's probably not going to be there much longer. I think he's been a real disappointment.
Yes, not going to Final Fours like he did at VCU.
Yeah.
So now, with the way you've picked these games, now we have Iowa State versus Kansas State for the number 5 seed versus the number 1 seed on Friday at 6 p.m.
This is a tough one. Iowa State, in my mind, Iowa State is just the team every year that pulls off some crazy upset. But I'm going to pick Kansas State.
You're going to take Kansas State.
I'm going to go against my instinct.
So now we go back down the bottom of the final. We have Texas Tech against Kansas. They split the season series. Kansas dominated in Lawrence. Texas Tech beat the living you-know-what out of the Jayhawks in Lubbock.
Yeah,
it was bad.
They did.
So Kansas, number 2 seed. Now, I'm not joking. Number 3 seed Kansas in the Big 12 tournament. The number 3 seed. We've got Tech against the Jayhawks. Who you got?
I'm going to take Kansas. Kansas wants to win some form of a Big 12 title.
I don't understand you. I don't understand anything. So you're taking Kansas to beat the Red Raiders.
I am.
Oh my gosh.
Kansas wants to win some form of a Big 12 title.
Man. So now
they do.
Now this puts the Sunflower State rivalry.
Yeah.
Kansas State against Kansas at game 9, the final 5 p.m. on Saturday. That Kansas State number 1 seed versus number 3 seed Kansas. Who do you have winning this game?
Reed, I got Kansas.
You just got done telling me that they can't do anything in the tournament. Now you're telling me they're going to win. They're going to beat Texas Tech, the number 7 team in the country, and beat the number 1 overall seed Kansas State.
I am.
I don't understand.
They want to win some form of a Big 12 title.
Well, I'm sure they want to. We all want to.
They know how to
win. The Cowboys want to win 4 games in 4 days. But come on, Logan. Reality is a real thing.
It is. And I'm going to look real stupid on Monday.
You're taking
Friday, I guess.
I'm taking Texas Tech to win the Big 12 tournament. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, come back and talk about what the Cowboys were able to do on the diamond yesterday and everything else going on in Oklahoma State athletics. We'll be right back after this.
One-on-One is brought to you by Oklahoma Air National Guard. Contact Oklahoma Air National Guard at 800-GO-TO-ANG or visit their website at goang.com/OK for more information about how to get 100% college tuition. And Unitarian Universalist Church. If you're looking for a church home, visit Unitarian Universalist Church of Stillwater, located at 320 South Stallard Street. They offer an alternative spiritual path and welcome all races, religions, and beliefs. They're also LGBTQ friendly. Services every Sunday at 10:30. We'll be right back. One-on-One is brought to
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided,
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
Casper prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
Dinger, Trevor Boone for the third game in a row hits a home run over the left.
I like the hat.
I like the hat. Dingers all around. 2-run shot and 5 RBIs yesterday for Trevor Boone. A big day for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. They dominated Missouri State 13-2. Missouri State gets 2 runs back in the 7th. The Cowboys answer with a 5-hit, 5-run 8th inning. Listen, the Cowboys are now sitting at 10-5, and I thought this is a great win for the Cowboys.
Yes.
And then I looked up Missouri State's record. They're 3-11 and are absolutely terrible. But Missouri State's been good in the past. This is still a good win for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Their third midweek game win in a row.
Yeah, maybe they should stop doing series and just do midweek games because they don't seem to do so well in series. But I like the way they've been playing right now. Obviously, they've lost to number 2 UCLA in the past week, but you can't really expect them to go out there and win one of those. But, you know, they performed really well in the Dodger Stadium College Baseball Classic. What a name.
Yeah.
They beat USC 11-6, and then they beat Michigan 3-2, and then you come home and you beat Missouri State 13-2. We'll have to see. I'll be interested to see how they handle this Southeastern Louisiana series they've got coming up. Is it this weekend or is it?
Yes, it is this weekend.
So, yeah, that'll be in Stillwater. I think we'll see if this team's trending in the right direction because you and I have both been saying you have to win these easier series, and they've been, you know, they didn't split, but they lost 1 game in the series against Wright State. They lost 1 to Iowa.
They lost 2 to Iowa. They lost that series. And then the one to UT Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe they're trending in the right direction now. Maybe, you know, that has been kind of the story of these Cowboys teams for the past couple of years. You know, they either start slow and then get super hot at the end of the year, or they start super hot and then cool down at the end of the year. So hopefully they're just picking it up right now and they can keep it going throughout the rest of the year, because you're about to start Big 12 play pretty soon. You have this series against Southeastern Baptist, and then you play Dallas Baptist, and then you kick it off with a series against K-State here in Stillwater after spring break. So hopefully they're starting to pick it up at the right time.
Well, I mean, this is a good one, as I mentioned. Missouri State's kind of struggling this year, but I'm with you. You got to win these games and continue. You essentially win the series out in Southern California. I get you play 3 different teams, but you still get 2 out of 1, and your one loss is a 6-3 loss to the number 2 team in the country. I mean, it could always be worse while you're sitting here at 10-5 in a lot of those wins, kind of like what the Cowgirls have talked about over on the softball diamond is they've left some games out there.
Yep.
And obviously the Cowgirls, I think, are in a little bit better position than the baseball team, but you 10-5, you get 6 guys with RBIs yesterday. Sometimes a game like this where you score 13 runs, you have 6 guys with RBIs, 5 runs in the 8th inning on 5 hits. Trevor Boone's hitting home runs in 3 straight games.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need. Maybe not for a season, but it will propel you offensively for a good period of the season. So hopefully that's what happens for the Cowboys.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully they just pick it. I'm so worried about this series against Southeastern Louisiana, just because I don't know if they can keep it. I hope they can keep it up. I think they enjoyed their time in the sun and kind of rejuvenated them a little bit. Hopefully they can, ride that. Maybe, I don't know what the weather's going to be like in Dallas over spring break, but hopefully, they can.
Probably not going to be bad.
Probably, yeah. It can't be worse than it is here. So hopefully, maybe they just need good weather. Maybe whenever springtime rolls around, they'll start playing a lot better once it's nice and sunny. But hopefully this can, like you said, give them some momentum and propel them throughout the rest of the season.
Well, the Oklahoma State Cowboys, we know they won their 7th consecutive conference title at the BOK Center this last weekend. Wrestling domination, what historically has always been the case. The Big 12 sending 53 wrestlers to nationals, and the Big 12 sending 78. So a little bit of a discrepancy here, but those are the top 2 conferences. The seeding, I don't believe, is out yet, or when I last checked yesterday, the seeding was not out. But the automatic qualifiers and the large bids had been given out. So over 300 wrestlers are heading to Pittsburgh for the 3-day event. Maybe we can try and talk to Wade for it, because we're not going to be having shows next week. It's going to be spring break, and then it starts next week. So, but 53 wrestlers. I did have the weight breakdown, but where Oklahoma State struggles at some weights is obviously 165, where Joe Smith replaced Chandler Rogers, and he finished 6th or 7th at Big 12s. So there's some question marks there. Cade Brock, the way he's wrestling, but they're sending guys to nationals, so we will see what happens here next week. So over on the football field, I know we had the NFL, but nothing's happening on the football field in the NFL. Well, here in Stillwater, stuff is happening on the football field. We get spring practice underway. I could ask you what happened, what you think, but quite honestly, I think they went and played, catch for 2 hours. It was the first day of spring practice. The spring game is on April 20th. What do you want to see going into the spring game? What do you want the Cowboys to work on? And I think I know your answer, but I'll ask it anyways. What do you want to see improve in the spring practice to put on display on April 20th in Boone Pickens?
I want to see some good quarterback play.
Yes.
I think we all want to see some good quarterback play.
Love that answer. From,
I want you to say it,
Spencer Sanders.
There we go.
Spencer Sanders, the guy you redshirted last year. Let him sling it, baby.
Please.
Put him out on the field. Obviously, he's going to play in the spring game. You play multiple quarterbacks. You have 2 teams out of 1. I mean, we're going to see him. But Drew Brown, obviously, there's stuff that could happen to him. But the guy that a lot of people think you put a big portion of the future of your program on, Spencer Sanders, I would love to see him, develop this relationship with the new offense coordinator, get this show on the road, and have a really good spring practice. I think because Jim Knowles, you saw they simplified the playbook last year, but they had a ton of young guys in that secondary. They simplified it. They got better. The second year has only got to be better. I'm excited about the prospect of Jim Knowles being in his second season. And then, obviously, you have offensive coordinator Gleason coming in, and that can improve. So I just want to see him play, which is obviously going to happen, but you've got to be excited to see the prospect him on the field.
Absolutely. I just want to see some football. It's been a while. I want to see Spencer Sanders. I want to see Chuba. I want to see Chuba running all over the field. I feel like he's not going to get a ton of playing time, though. I really want to see Spencer. I want to see Spencer work with the wide receivers. You know, I want to see him run the offense. Like you said, he had a whole year to learn the playbook. I just want to see him go pick the defense apart. I know it's a spring game. It's not like they're going to be trying really hard anyway, but I'm really excited to see that. Hopefully it's a nice day so we can all go out there and enjoy it in some nice weather. But yeah, really excited for spring training, not spring training, but spring practice and the spring game.
Yeah, and Sean Gleason is another thing that you've got to be excited about, the new offensive coordinator from Princeton.
I'll be interested to see what he if he wants to change it up or what he wants to do.
We will see. He said, I'll read you the quote from him. Obviously, there's more than one, but this one, talking about Mike Gundy, he's been a solid coach. This is Mike Gundy's quote on Sean Gleason. He's been a solid coach and has been good on the style of offense that we have. He's done an excellent job with quarterbacks and training. He's had a lot of success, is young and ambitious. The players have a very good feel for him as a person and as a coach. So I just felt like he was a good fit. That's bringing him in. So hopefully those things pan out and develops a good relationship with the quarterbacks. So they had the pro day yesterday as well.
Right.
Tyron Johnson runs a 4.33 or 4.34. I don't know if it's official yet, but we'll go with 4.33 because it sounds better. He didn't get invited to the combine.
Yeah.
Do you think he really improved his stock with that 4.33? I believe that was would have been sixth among receivers at the combine.
I think so. I think anytime you can show speed like that, obviously it's not like Tyreek Hill fast, but he's got some burner speed in him. So I think that it can't hurt his draft class or his stock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't remember off the top of my head how he did in the bench press. I think he did 15 or something. I can't remember. But I know he did better than he thought he would on the bench press. So I think he even impressed himself yesterday. Hopefully he also impressed the scouts. I'll be interested to see if he can get drafted, though. I feel like he's not going to go as high as James Washington did last year, but I feel like he can at least make some kind of a roster, whether it's a practice squad or maybe even he's on an actual NFL roster. That'll be interesting to see. Do you think he's going to get drafted?
I think Tyron Johnson will be a late round, but I think the Colts and Chiefs were reportedly talking to him yesterday. I think he can. He's probably going to fix some routes and stuff like that. But I think there's some potential for him to go there in the late rounds. And I think he could be a good NFL receiver.
I do worry about his motor, though, because it seemed at times last year he just kind of gave up while he was out there. I think that's one thing NFL scouts are still kind of skeptical about. You can't really prove that at a pro day. You have to prove that on the field.
Well, Taylor Cornelius, he ran a 4.7 40 time.
Why did he do this?
A 38-inch vertical. That's 3.5. That would have been by far the best at the combine. 3.5 inches better than any other quarterback there. That's a good vertical, but I really don't think that's
not what they're looking for.
Benchmark to NFL stardom or to be drafted, quite frankly. But hopefully Taylor Cornelius gets a shot. I mean, get into camp. You never know what could happen. But I think Tyron Johnson and Jarrell Owens will probably get drafted, and obviously Justice Hill and Jordan Brailford were at the combine. So we're going to wrap it up, take a break, obviously, for a couple days here, and come back. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of free agency news. We'll break down the series for the Cowgirls and Cowboys, and we will know what had happened in Kansas City and everything going on in college basketball. We will see you Friday. Thank you for watching One-on-One. We'll see you then.
In my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.